Share my screen. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Samuel Oluwaseun Adeyemi. I'll be taking you on this. Hope everyone can hear me. I'll be taking you on this training called Writing for Brand and PR Campaigns. I would like to know the proficiency of everyone on this call. So I would like it to also be interactive. So if you could just drop in the comment section. Just tell me what you do, your day-to-day work, what you do for a living now. Please, if you could just take a moment to drop it in the chat, please, before we start, so that I can know the angle to take this training from. I hope you can all hear me. Ifeoluwa, Mari, Ifeyiwa. Gloria, Isioma. So, okay. Ifeyiwa says the campus journalists. Okay. Others, I'm waiting for you.
Please, if we can unmute ourselves, unmute yourself while the facilitator is asking questions, please.
Okay, Gloria says he studied international studies and diplomacy. Is a content and copywriter, spoken word artist. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we still have other people that have not spoken or dropped their comment here. Okay, content writer. All right, so from the little I've seen, please, I want this class to be engaging, please, so that it's not a monologue. So I want it to be interactive. So we are discussing writing for brand and PR campaigns. I don't know why this thing is not moving. Okay. All right, so now first I need to break down some of the concepts in this topic. We're going to talk about what brand is, what PR is, and then we'll look at the intersection between brand and marketing communication and integrated marketing communication. A brand is a personality of a company or a product, just like how people have their own personalities that make them unique. Brands have its own characteristics that make them stand out from others. Every brand has its own DNA, what stands it apart from other, products and services in the market. That's what brand is. That's what brand is about. It's what differentiates your products and your services from the other products that are in the market that are competing for time and attention. So this includes things like logo. It's not just logo, it's logo is part of it. It's about how we talk in ads, in adverts. It's about the quality of the products, and even it's about how your stores or your website looks like. It's the look and feel of your products, of your point of sale, of every touch point that you have. That's what your brand is. It's the totality of your organization. It's about the culture, it's about the products, it's about the logo, it's about the color that you've chosen for your logo. It's about how people perceive and how people see your products. It's about how people, when your product is mentioned, it's about the emotion that is triggered in the memory. That is what brand is all about. So basically, brand is what comes to your mind when you think about a product or you think about a service. So what comes to your mind when you think about MTN, when you think about Coca-Cola, when you think about Glow, that is brand identity. So I've been able to tell you to show you that it's not just about the logo, it's not just about the color, it's about what comes to people's mind when they think about your products. Just the way products and services have brand, that's the same way human beings also have brand as well. Human beings have their own what we call personal branding. So when people think about Gloria, when people think about Isioma, when they think about Musa, John, what comes to their mind? Are you a reliable person? Are you somebody that says things and do what you say you will do? Are you loyal? Are you jovial? What kind of emotion do you trigger in the mind of your friends, family members, acquaintances, relatives, classmates, colleagues? What kind of emotion are triggered in their mind when they think about you or when your name comes up? That is your personal brand. It's the same thing for products and services. What comes to their mind? What happens when they think about a product? When you think about Zoom, what comes to your mind? When you think about Google Meet, what comes to your mind? When you think about, you know, Apple products, iPhones, what comes to your mind? Android phones, Technos, what comes to your mind? That is the brand of the product. So you can see now it goes beyond the the brand identity, which is the logo, the color, you know, the notepads and all those designs. It goes beyond that. Is your identity, is the trust, is what people remembers about you. It's about the value that you bring to the table. It's about, you know, design, the logo, the strategy, the marketing. That's the totality of what a brand is about. So when you buy something from a brand you trust, it's like choosing to hang out with a friend you really like because you know what you expect and you enjoy the experience. So if you have a choice to go out with a friend and you have two competing friends trying to get your attention, one says let's go out and another says let's go out as well. The same time, and you have to make a choice. What kind of friend am I going out with? Who can complete me? Who can, you know, who do I think I'm going to have a very and wonderful experience with? That is the kind of, that is what brand is about. When you go into the supermarket and you see Milo and you see Bonvita, and then you are to decide which one are you taking home. That is when a brand identity comes in. So if you chose Milo or you chose Bonvita, at that point, you are making a decision at that point in time. So a brand is something that you trust. It's, you know, when you choose from a competing, when you have so many competing, you know, competing options, that is when your brand identity, that's when brand identity comes to life. Now, next thing is PR. Remember, we are talking about writing for brand and PR campaigns. So I want to first lay this foundation, show you this introduction for you first to understand what brand is, understand what PR is, and then look at how we can connect both, and then how we can now, you know, run a campaign for brand and PR. But if you don't understand what brand is, you don't understand what PR is, you cannot, you know, create a campaign for what you don't understand. That's why I'm laying this foundation so that you can understand what brand is, understand what PR is, and then you can then be able to, you know, create a brand that will stand the test of time. So we've talked about what brand is. Now let's go into PR. PR, which is short for public relation, is like a storyteller for a company, organization, or even a person. PR is about managing how others see and think about them. That is what PR is about. PR helps to create a positive image by spreading good news, handling tough situations gracefully, and building relationships with the public, like customers, the media, and the community. That is what PR is about. PR creates positive image by spreading good news, handling tough situations gracefully, and building relationships with the public. You see the word public relations. It's about building relationship. And you know what relationship means? Relationship means goodwill. Relationship means something that, you build something that people want to accept. When this relationship has broken down, it means that there is there is a enmity between people that you are talking to. So just as just like how someone might share their achievements, values with friends to build a good reputation, PR does the same thing, but on a bigger scale for business and other groups. Just imagine, you have somebody that talks, say the right thing about you to other people. That is a level of PR. But imagine now doing it on a larger scale for a bigger organization. That is what PR is about. I'm sure you've heard the saying that goes like this, that, oh, this person is bad mouthing me. You understand? So that's the opposite of PR. So when somebody is saying good things about you and, promoting you, creating goodwill for you, that is PR. And every organization, everyone needs PR, because if the right thing are not said about you, you are going to go out of business. When people are saying the wrong thing about you, you are going to go out of business. You will not have the right reputation. You will not have the right brand if people are saying the wrong thing about you. So PR is about spreading good news. It's about managing the image. It's about, managing tough situations gracefully. It's about promoting and creating positive image by spreading good news about an organization. It's also about managing relationship with the public, with the customers, the media, and the community. So what PR also does is to be able to understand all your stakeholders. Who are your stakeholders? Who are the people that are connected to you? Who are the people that will be impacted, whether positively or negatively, with your actions or inactions? So PR look at all those community, looks at all those stakeholders, and map out strategy to be able to, manage this relationship adequately. Now, let's look at what is called integrated marketing communications. Remember, we've talked about brand, we've talked about PR. Now, there is something called integrated marketing communications. Remember, we are talking about writing brand and PR campaigns. So I want to be able to connect all this together so that you understand these basics. It's like when you are building a house, you need a foundation. If the foundation is faulty, the house will be faulty. So you can't create a campaign for what you don't know about. You need to first understand the concept before you build a campaign. You first need to understand what marketing is. You need to understand what branding is. You need to understand what PR is. So now there is something called integrated marketing communication. Integrated marketing communication, can somebody mute, please? Integrated marketing communication brings together all these initiatives. It brings together branding, PR, advertising, media outreach, blogging, direct sale, social media, public relations, and branding strategies. So all these are under the umbrella called IMC, the short form for Integrated Marketing Communications. That's IMC. Is the umbrella body for all these initiatives: branding, PR, advertising, media outreach, blogging, social media, direct sale. When you bring all this together, it's under integrated marketing communication. Look at that keyword, integrated. It brings all this together. So it involves coordinating various promotional elements and communication channels to deliver a unified and consistent message to target audience. So these days, if you want to do a campaign, most times you don't do one campaign in isolation. They are somewhat connected. PR is connected to branding. Branding is connected to social media. Social media is connected to digital marketing. So if you really want to be able to develop the right campaign, the right strategy, the right messaging, you need to be able to understand all this. You need to be able to understand advertisements, you need to be able to understand social media, blogging, branding, PR. Of course, there are specialty in all this. People specialize in PR, some people specialize in social media, some specialize in advertising, some specializes in blogging, media outreach, media relations. All these have their own specialization, but you need to understand each, you need to understand individual, this on its own. You need to understand them. I've talked about. Now, let's now look at the connection. So there is something that is connecting all these things I've mentioned that made it integrated marketing combination. They are all publicity. They are all promotion. You are promoting something. You are promoting a product. If you are doing branding, you are promoting a product. If you are doing PR, advertisement, blogging, social media, content marketing, you are doing something. You are promoting something. That is the nexus. That is the thread that connects all these initiatives together. Promotion, publicity, good news. That is the thing that connects all this together. Now, what are the outlets for IMC? Integrated marketing communication. We have outdoors. Outdoors are those billboards that you see on the road, you know, when you are driving or when you are in the public transports, you see those billboards on the road. Those ones are outdoor. Digital channels, digital billboard, TV, radio, newspaper, email marketing, branded events, experiences, customer service channel, and all that. Now, let's come into the importance of, I hope I've been clear, though there will still be questions, but if you need me to go back, please don't hesitate to unmute yourself or drop a chat so that I can be able to explain better so that you can understand. Now, what are the importance of writing in brand and PR campaign? I've seen that majority of us here are either content marketer or content creator or writers. Now, what is the importance of writing in brand and PR campaign? Why do we need writing? Why do we need writing in brand and PR campaign? Number one, we need writing for clarity. Effective writing ensures that brand messages are clear, concise, and easily understood by the target audience. So it's not just writing. It's not just, throwing out a lot of jargons in the name of writing. Your writing has to be clear. It has to ensure that the brand messages are clear, concise, and easily understood. Mark that word, easily understood. So it's not just dropping BB grammar that people will not understand. Your writing, when you're writing for PR or you're writing a brand, your message must be easily understood by the target audience. And then you need to be consistent in your writing style across all communication channels so that you can be able to reinforce the brand identity and build trust among consumers. So what happens is that most of the organizations, when they are doing their brand strategy or rolling out their brand identity, they have consistent color. So you can't, there is a certain red that is associated with Coca-Cola. You can't use Airtel Mobile Red for Coca-Cola Red. You are going to get into trouble. There must be consistency. So the Airtel Red is consistent. MTN Yellow is consistent. You need to understand that color. You need to get the right color guide for you to be able to maintain that consistency. And then you also notice that most brands have a certain font that they use. So they don't use Times New Roman today, use Arial tomorrow, use Avalis tomorrow, next tomorrow. They are consistent. If they are using Arial, Calibri, they stick with it. They stick with one or at most two fonts. they are consistent with it. And that is what branding is about. Credibility. Well-written content enhancing the credibility and professionalism of the brand and position it as an authority in its industry. Imagine having a piece of writing and then it's riddled with typos and all that. It's going to affect the credibility of those brands. So writing builds a certain level of credibility, and then engaging content captures the audience attention. If your content are not engaging, it will not capture the audience attention. Your content must be compelling. It must arrest the attention of the audience. We'll still talk about keep it short and simple in the next slide, but make sure that your content, when you are writing for brand, exactly for PR, make sure it's compelling, make sure it encourages, it engages audience attention. Storytelling, and this is the future of PR. This is the future of brand. Storytelling is the future of brand because consumers, customers, clients, they are swayed by story. That is why you need to master the art of storytelling. If you are a writer, if you are a content creator, or you are a content marketer, you need to understand the concept of storytelling. That is one of the best ways to pass across your message. Writing allows brands to tell stories that resonate with their audience, creating emotional connections and fostering brand loyalty. That is what storytelling does. Another importance of writing in brand and PR campaign is it builds the organization reputation. It's for reputation management. Strategy writing helps manage the brand's reputation by addressing issues effectively and shaping public perception. Differentiation. Unique writing style and messaging sets the brand apart from competitors. It highlights its distinct personality and value proposition. So if you master this, your brand will be differentiated. It will have its own distinct personality. Also, in this age of digital platforms, effective writing optimized content for search engine. I'm sure you know that, when you write for search engine, when you write online, and you really want Google to be able to capture those contents, there is a way you write so that some keywords can be in your content. It creates brand visibility online, it drives traffic to your website, and increases your brand awareness. Relationship building. Writing fosters communication and dialogue between brand and its audience. It builds stronger relationship and customer loyalty. And of course, writing allows for the creation of measurable content, which can be analyzed to gauge the effectiveness of brand and PR campaigns for future strategies. But before you write, you need to understand something. You need to understand something. And that is where I'm going to. Because a lot of people, they just, without thinking, they just, oh, let me just quickly draft this content. No. Let me quickly draft this blog post. No, there are some things that you need to put in place before you start jotting down things, before you start writing. There are some things you need to do and understand. Number one, first understand who your audience are. Audience analysis. When you do your audience analysis, then you have understanding of the kind of audience you are talking to. You can't write if you are writing to university professors, the same way you communicate with university professors is different from the way you communicate with a primary school student or with a secondary school student or Gen Z. The way you communicate with Gen Z is different from the way you communicate with baby boomers and millennials. These are people in different generations, different experiences, and different outlooks to the world we live in. There are some content that you see online, and if somebody has not told you about what those abbreviations are, you will not understand. Can somebody just give me some of the abbreviations that are used in these days and age that Gen Z secondary school students will understand. The chat is open. I want this to be engaging. Put it on the chat. Okay. Yeah. Nimao, LOL. Yeah. More. TMI. Okay. BLB. Please, what is TMI? Too much information. Okay. So now you can't, if you are writing and you are communicating with a university professor and you are writing TMI, BTW, the person will think maybe there is something wrong with you. So you need, oh, can you see my screen? My screen is visible. Can you still see my screen? What are you seeing on my screen? Are you seeing the slide? I can't see the slide. Okay. Okay, all right. So I've seen the slide now. So you need to first do an audience analysis. You need to ask yourself, what are the goals? What do you hope to accomplish? What does this person hope to accomplish in the next 5, 10 years? How does this person spend his money? What does this person value in life? You know, what's the typical day of this person like? Those are the things that you need to understand before you start to do your audience analysis, before you start writing. There is what we call buyer personnel. Buyer personnel is to take an ideal customer. Okay, so let's do an experiment now. No experiment. Let's have let's do, give me a product and let's analyze the ideal customer. John, I will answer your question now. Give me a product or services or a company, and then I will give you how you're going to get all those information. That is where buyer personnel comes in. Coca-Cola. Okay. So Coca-Cola, Fendi lipstick. Okay, let's Coca-Cola is too popular. Let's do Fendi lipstick. Now, Fendi lipstick, you've been contacted to be the brand manager of Fendi lipstick, and you want to write a press release, or you want to write an advert copy or something like that. How do you know the typical, audience that will need these services? This is where, these products, this is where buyer personnel comes in. So who is the ideal person? Just one person, the age range of the person that will need this lipstick. And mind you, I think it's not just lipstick. This is a premium lipstick, if I'm not mistaken. Please tell me on the chat. Is it just Fendi? Because I know Fendi is a premium brand. No, Fendi. I know it's for women, but Fendi is a premium brand, or it's for the common? It's a beauty brand. Okay, yeah, I know it's a beauty brand. I'm saying it's a luxury brand. Yes, that's what I want to hear, because I know Fendi is a luxury brand. So if you want to promote Fendi, you have your ideal customer. Of course, your ideal customer would be somebody that is living in Lekki, earning minimum of 500,000 naira. Okay, yeah, in this age and time, in this economy, minimum of 500,000 naira per month. Upwardly mobile young woman that is interested in trend, interested in, looking good, speaks good English, education, is a university graduate, learning. So look at the screen. What are the goals of this person? This young person that is earning this amount, his goal is that in the next 2 years, he wants to jump out of Nigeria, or he wants to go on vacation in the US, in the UK, in Dubai, because he or she can afford it. She has that resources. What are this person's interests? This person is interested in lifestyle. This person is interested in trending discussions. Where does this person go to? This person does not shop in a local market. This person shops in top, in top shopping mall. You understand? What are the preferences? What does this person prefers? The kind of place where he worships, the kind of place where she frequents every day. What are the challenges this person confronts every day? You need to understand it. That will make you to really have a drill down a drill down idea of who this person is. Hope you understand what buyer personnel is now. So before you write, you need to understand who this person is. And this is where the buyer personnel comes in now. So for the question of how do you, yes, the person wants to, I'm reading the comment, it's a luxury buyer, yes, the person wants to go into an executive position. Yes. And is constantly looking for more opportunities in different organizations. Those are the things that will setting this person apart. I'm trying to look at your question. How do you get all this information? So you can get all this information through that buyer personnel that I've just shown you. Is a typical, information about this person. So you can get those information from this buyer personnel. Next, you need to do a SWOT analysis. I'm sure you know what SWOT is about. SWOT is about the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. So what are the strengths of this person? What are the weaknesses? What are the opportunities? And what are the threats? Those are the things that you need to understand. You need to know when you are doing your SWOT and before you write for any brand. And then also, this is very important. In this day and age, people are constrained by time. They don't have so much time. They are so much impatient. So you need to understand the principles of KISS. In the context of IMC, KISS stands for keep it simple and stupid. Keep it simple. Keep it short and simple. So don't do too much shalaye. You need to go straight to your point. Say what you want to say. Pass the information that you want to pass very fast and forget too much talk. Now, the KISS principle emphasizes the importance of simplicity and clarity in communication to ensure that messages are easily understood and memorable by target audience. So this is saying that your messages must be simple, it must be clear, it must be understandable, it must be memorable by your target audience. People don't want to think anymore. You have to think for them. So for instance, now, if you are posting something on Instagram, for instance, you want to sell the products, and you put, I'm sure, okay, so if you've experienced this, let me hear you in the chat, if you run an online advert, and you put the price of the product in the content you've written, people will still come on the chat and ask you how much. Have you experienced that before? Let me see on your charts. If you experience, let me see. Or you've seen something like that before. Yeah, it is common. People these days, so this tells you that people these days are not ready to read. They are not ready to, you know, exercise their brain. So you can see people are not thinking anymore. So that's why you need to keep it simple, keep it short, and go straight to the point when you are writing for brand. Now, let's start writing. So these are the steps and consideration for writing effective campaign materials. Remember, when you see IMC, I'm talking about brand, I'm talking about PR. So I've merged the two together. Number one, identify your objectives. So are you writing clearly define your goals? Are you writing for awareness? Are you writing to launch a new product? Are you writing for public perception? Or what are you writing for? If you are writing for people to buy your products, do you have a call to action that tells them? So it's not just describing what the product can do. At the end, is there a call to action? Buy now, visit our website now, download this now, click on this link. Are those things available? Identify your objectives before you start, when you start writing. Clearly define your goals. What do you want to do? Do you want to just increase your brand awareness? Are you launching new products? Are you improving your public perception? Or is something else? Number two, you need to know your audience. Understand the demographics, the interests, the preferences of your target audience, and then tailor your messaging to resonate with them effectively. We've discussed that before. Demographics, interests, preferences of your target audience. You can't go on show media and you want to sell a product to Gen Z and you start using BB grammar, they will not listen to you. Or you have just long text without images, without videos, they will not listen to you. But if you are talking to your professor, those people above 50 years, above 60, they are comfortable reading novels. They are comfortable reading leaves of books, pages and pages of books, just to get information. But people these days, young people of nowadays, they don't have that time. So first, you need to understand your audience and write effectively to them. What we mentioned a while ago, those LOL, TBI, to be right back and all those things. If you wrote that to your professor, you know what you are going to get out of that. Or maybe let's even assume that you are writing to your parents and you send that to your parents. You know the kind of word that you will get from them. So, but if you are writing to your age mates, you are writing to your friends, of course, they will understand what you are writing. Now, craft your message. Make sure that your message is concise and compelling. Make sure that the message communicates the USP, the unique selling proposition and value of your brand, product, and services. If you are marketing that Fendi lipsticks, what is the unique selling point? One of the unique selling points of that is the luxury brand. When people see you that you are using a Lefty lipstick, they know that you are in a different level, you are in a different class. There is a level of, there is a kind of, place they will place you. The same thing for, some brands of perfume and some cheap perfume. When somebody perceives that, they know the kind of person you are. So those are the things that need to reflect in your content when you are writing. You need to be able to identify the unique selling points of that product and push it out. The same thing for PR. Maybe you are writing a press release, you are writing a content to promote somebody, to promote yourself, to promote an organization. You need to look at the unique selling points. Now, let me tell you something. There is nobody that is totally bad. There is no product or services that is totally bad. Today in Abuja, somebody launched his autobiography. Can somebody tell me on the charts? Somebody launched his autobiography today in Abuja. Somebody very popular in Nigeria that a lot of people don't like launched his autobiography in Abuja today. Nobody knows the person. Okay, put it on the chat. I know the person, I don't know the person. Put it on the chat. I want this class to be interactive. Nobody has posted anything. I know the person, I don't know the person. No, it's not Buhari. Next person. Please, let's be fast, please. Somebody launched his autobiography in Abuja today. I don't know the person. Okay. Okay. All right. So General Ibrahim Babangida launched his autobiography in Abuja today. A lot of people don't like General Babangida because of what he did in June 12 and all those things. But there are still some people that love him so much. The same thing for somebody that wrote about Buhari. Buhari, some people don't like him, but some people still like him because there are some areas they like him. The same thing for Tinubu. So there is nobody that is totally bad. There is always a unique selling point for every product, for every human being, and for every institution. And I can tell you, it is because of public relations that somebody like IBB is standing today. It's because some people are still being able to write about his unique selling proposition, the unique value that he has brought to Nigeria. So if you are crafting any message, you are writing about somebody, you are writing about your product, there is always a unique selling proposition. There is always a value that you can still bring to the table. The next thing is you need to choose the right channel. You need to use the right channel. If you want to talk to Gen Z, you don't go to Guardian newspaper and take up a front page advert. But if you go to Instablog, you go to Bella Naija, you go to Linda Ikeji, there is higher probability that you are talking to the right audience. If you want to talk to the likes of Tinubu, the likes of IBB, the likes of Buhari, and you take up a front page advert in the Guardian, I can assure you that they will see it. So you need to determine the suitable communication channels to reach your target audience. Defending products, you should know the right place to go and put that kind of advert or that kind of content that talks about Fendi lipsticks. So determine the suitable communication channel to reach your target audience. This may include press release, social media, blogs, email newsletter, media interviews, and more. Also, you can use press release. A well-crafted press release is newsworthy, informative, and engaging. You need to use a clear and attention-grabbing headline, followed by a concise summary of the news angle. We don't have time to start going in depth into how to write press release, but I'm sure you can read it somewhere else. Create content. Develop various types of content, such as articles, blogs, posts, infographics, video, podcasts, to amplify your message across different platforms. That is what we call, trying to repurpose content. You can repurpose an article into a podcast. You can repurpose a podcast into an infographics. You can, repurpose an infographics into a video. So you need to be able to be strategic, be creative, to be able to create different content. Of course, if you are writing for PR, you need to build relationships with the media. By media, I mean journalists, bloggers, influencers, and other media professionals who cover topics that are relevant to your PR campaign. Offer them exclusive access and compelling stories to secure media coverage. So if you really want to be getting good coverage by journalists, you need to build good relationship with them so that they can be able to write, write good things about you, about your product, about your services, about your organization or your principal. And of course, when you write, optimize for SEO, make sure that there are relevant keywords and phrases that are in your content so that they can be searchable on search engine. Then monitor and measure. Implement tracking mechanism to monitor performance and effectiveness of your PR campaign. Analysis metrics so that media mentions, website traffic, how many people go on your websites. And of course, you need to adapt. Experiment with different platforms to be able to understand where your audience is. In case you don't know where your audience is, try to adapt, experiment, check. You can check whether they are on Instagram. If you post, do you get more engagement there? Experiment with that. Use stories, experiment with that. Experiment on LinkedIn, and then where you get more, more impression, more engagement, we put more resources there. So this is my book. It's talking about how to look really good, how to increase your reputation. It's available on Amazon and the hard copy. Thank you so much. Questions? You can unmute yourself, please, for question. Question? No question? Okay. Deborah says there's no question from her. Any other person? Are you speaking? Is Latifa speaking? I can't hear you.
Good evening, sir. Yes, good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening. Go ahead. I can't hear you. Can you drop your question on the chat if you can't, because I can't hear what you are saying. Latifat, are you speaking? I can't hear you. Okay, so John is asking, can you have a successful PR campaign without press release? Latifat, please drop your comment, drop your question on the chat. Your internet is not, it's fluctuating. Okay, so John is asking, can you have a successful PR campaign without press release? Well, it depends on the kind of PR campaign you want to do. So, of course, you can have a very successful PR campaign without press release. But how you can create, you can do, what's it called now? You can have press conference where you invite journalists to come and you share ideas with them. You can have, you can just send them, maybe not a press release, you can just send out talking points, just like a summary, high-level summary of what you want to communicate. So you can, of course, you can have a successful PR campaign without press release, but I don't advise it, because with press release, it's like, you are shaping the conversation. You write it and then you send it out to journalists. Most times journalists, they will not even edit it. They will just write it the way you write. They will publish it the way you've written it, and they will send it. They will publish it. So it's best you have a press release when you are doing a PR campaign. It's really necessary, because it's not, your press release is not only for your for journalists. You can post your press release on your company's blog. You can post it on your social media platforms. You understand? Hope that answers your question, John. John.
Oh.
Okay, Latifa, please. Let's try again.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you, sir. And you mentioned something about storytelling, and I was wondering that the storytelling, is it more that it revolves around how you started your brand, or can it be a story on anything that is related to your product or your services?
Yeah, the story can be anything. That is why it's called story. It can be how you started. It can be about the vision that you have about the product. It can be about the inspiration that made you to create that product. It can be story about your early years and how you've been thinking of, doing something like this. Or it can be story about, how when you started building that product, this happened. Why it's important is that people gravitate towards stories. People see stories as relatable. They would want to listen to stories. So stories can be anything. Stories can be about your lifestyle. Story can be about your life. Story can be about the products. It can be about your environment. It can be about what you come across, what you've seen. So story can take any angle. That's the beauty of story. And then you link it up with your products or services.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Any other question before we round up?
Do we still have any questions for Mr. Sam? I think if we don't, I think we'll just have to call it a night. Thank you so much, sir.
I think there is one comment. There is a comment there for the buyer persona. Is it that you create assumed features character? So when you are creating an assumed features character, it still has to be based on facts. You understand? So it's a combination of fiction and doing a research, understanding about who this person is. So if you create a fictitious character, it's still, the information you are generating still must be based on facts, because that is the way you can easily communicate effectively with the people you are communicating with, the people that you want to communicate with. So it's a combination of fictional character and facts. You understand? So you really need to know your buyer. That will help you to know your buyer.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. But so you won't have to maybe carry out a survey or an interview to really know whom this buyer is.
Yeah, there are different ways you can carry a survey. You can do a research. You can do a desk research. You can ask questions. You can, do talk to people. You can, any way you can be able, any strategy you use to get information. It can be observation. You can just go online and look around and be able to get the right information. Can a service or product have more than one personnel? Yeah, it's possible, but it's best that you stick with a typical buyer of your products. So, but when you have different personnel, it means you're going to have different communication strategy for different personnel. You understand? Because if the way you talk to a Gen Z will be different from the way you talk to a millennial. So if you have a personnel that is a millennial, the communication style has to be different from the communication style for a Gen Z. So that's why need to stick with one personnel and be able to coin a communication strategy for that kind of for that person. So if your product cuts across different demographic, I think you should be able to create different personnel for those different demographic. But if your product appeals to one demographic, just have one personnel so that you can be able to get the right communication strategy for that person, for that group of people. Let me know if that answers your question. All right, I think
you did. I was going to ask the same question.
Sorry?
I said I was almost going to ask that same question. I think you answered it.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, I think we have done posts.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. I think we can call it a night. Thank you so much for honoring our invite again, Mr. Sam. God bless you, sir.
Thank you,
All right,
everyone.
sir.
Have a good night.
So, I think that will be all. Good night, everyone.